Hey y'all, Kitchen Trap Queen here with the biscuits and gravy chicken sandwich. If I had a restaurant, this would definitely be on my brunch menu. It has a honey butter glaze all on top, guys. Everything is made from scratch. If you would like to know how I made this, stay tuned. So since everything is made from scratch, we're gonna make our biscuits. These are actually called angel biscuits, so they require yeast. So what I have here is some warm water. I'm gonna take a packet of active dry yeast and I'm gonna add in some sugar and I'm gonna let that proof for about 5 minutes. And now I'm gonna take my dry ingredients in the bowl. You see baking soda, baking powder, and some salt. And there I'm adding in some sugar. And what I have here is about 2.5 cups of bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour. And then here I have some butter flavored shortening and some cold salted butter. And we're just going to make a crumbly texture out of this. We're gonna just pretty much cut it into our flour. You can just use a fork for this step, but y'all know the Southern cook in me, I gotta use my hands. So what I'm doing is I'm just basically just kind of pressing the shortening and the butter into the flour so that it makes like a crumbly texture. So now I'm just going to gradually add in my cold buttermilk and my yeast. You're supposed to alternate adding in your yeast and your buttermilk, but I forgot about my yeast, y'all. It was in the microwave, my bad. So you will see me add in my yeast at the very end, but you just want to gradually add in your liquids to your flour until it makes like a sticky ball. And see, this is where I forgot to add in my yeast, and then I remembered. I was like, oh yeah. So it was more wet than I wanted it to be, so I did add in a little bit more flour. So once you have a sticky mound, I wouldn't call this a ball, we're just gonna take some saran wrap and we're gonna place this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. So now we're gonna work on our chicken. What I have here are some chicken tenderloins that I've been marinating in some buttermilk and some seasonings. And I'm just gonna dip them or dredge them in some seasoned flour. I do have the recipe for the flour and I will put that down below. And this is basically how I did my chicken tenders in my red velvet and chicken sliders video. So now I'm just gonna pan fry my chicken tenders in some vegetable oil. Once they're all nice and golden brown on one side, you're gonna flip them over and fry them on the other side. Once mine were done, I just let them drain on a wire rack. And then I took my dough out of the fridge, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and I floured my counter and I put my dough on it and I put a little bit of flour on top. And I just basically just, I want to say I kneaded it. I pretty much folded my dough in half. I was trying to create layers, but that didn't work. You just want to take your dough out and roll it to the thickness that you desire. And I'm gonna take y'all know I ain't got no biscuit cutter, so I just took a cup. Yeah, I took a cup and I just made some biscuits. I mean, come on, y'all. We saving money. We saving money. Don't act too bougie. Then you're just gonna take your biscuits out and we're going to place them in a greased pan. And you're basically just gonna do the same thing to your leftover dough. Just make it into a ball and take your cup, not your biscuit cutter, and cut some more biscuits out of it. And then once you have all of your biscuits in your greased pan, you're gonna place that in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes on 425 degrees. Now we're gonna start on our sausage gravy. This is some ground turkey sausage. If you want to use pork sausage, that's all good. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to brown it in my cast iron skillet. I'm just going to season it with some garlic powder and some paprika just for some color. And then I apologize for the smoke, y'all. It's a lot of smoke. And then once our meat is browned and seasoned, we are just going to add in some butter. We're going to let this butter melt. I did add in some salt and pepper towards the end, y'all. I know I said it's seasoned, but it's not. And that's only because the sausage is already seasoned and it is a little salty. So now we're just going to sprinkle in our flour, and we're going to let this flour cook for about 2 to 3 minutes so that it can get that floury taste out of it. And then we're going to gradually add in our milk. So now I'm going to add in my whole milk 1 cup at a time. I'm adding in a total of 2 cups. And then at the end, I added in 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. This country sausage gravy is so good with biscuits, especially these biscuits, because these biscuits are like, they're kind of like Popeye's biscuits, but they're not as thick, but they are thick, but they're good, y'all. So now I'm seasoning my gravy with some salt, pepper, and some more of that garlic powder. And ooh, y'all, look at them biscuits. Ooh. But for the gravy part, you're just gonna cook it until it gets to your desired thickness. Just know that the longer that you let it cook, the thicker it's gonna get. Y'all, look at those biscuits. Y'all, if you don't try this biscuit recipe, look how y'all, I swear, man, somebody marry me, please marry me. Like, I feel like somebody's Maymaw, y'all. Look. But if Martin's Mama's Biscuits was a biscuit, this would be that biscuit. Okay, so now we're just gonna build our sandwiches, y'all. Take those chicken tenders and place it on top of those biscuits, y'all. Look at that gravy. Put as much gravy as you want, y'all. I wanted to put more than this, but I had to take pictures and stuff, and then you wouldn't have been able to see the chicken. So y'all, please try this recipe. And right there, I'm just adding on some honey butter. It's just equal parts honey and equal parts melted butter, y'all. I did that. We did it, Joe. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.